diametrically linked subject of literature and security is the clarity that ensues where he mirrors the degradation that causes human society, so that life is questioned as a reflective base for literature. In other words, what essentially is to be mirrored? Life, or the jungle called Nigeria. And how can the poet, the writer, represent this and still remain exactly unperturbed, exactly alive while doing so? That is what he tries to illustrate by that. The deeper implication is that the writers who ought to refract life are suggestively not themselves alive. The problematics of this would be that life is splattered in blood. Such morbid imagination would blind the reflective lens of writers existing in this society. So where is development in this situation? Neo-Shinari's critical reflection also points attention to how a writer can engage society, how literature, in other words, can engage society. So in a similarly rhythmic way of application, quote and end of quote. Further, about the writer, Oshundare questions, when did the writer become a king, an absolute monarch with powers really wide enough to say this and it's done? In other words, how would you say that writers have acquired that image of the Christian narrative of God as the all-knowing, supreme king? Further, after the writer questions that, we say that literature does not directly come to halt insecurity. For example, you cannot show a pawn to a headsman who is advancing towards you with a cutlass. It would almost be a thoughtless action if you do so. You would probably you probably get more machete cuts on you if you present to him a poem, a copy of Raji-Oyelade's Webs of Remembrance or a Harvest of Laughters. It would not save you, basically. So the implied thing is that Raji can relay some of these security crises in books. He can rework it through the technology of imagination so that life can be reflected. Quickly, I would say that a number of literary texts attest to security crisis. Ben Opry's The Famished Road is very much domiciled in the Civil War context. And then, of course, Tale of Two Cities, if you recall, Charles Dickens' Tale of Two Cities, would foreground the French Revolution, the face-off between British Empire extending to French Revolution, and the after effect of such political ripples. That is, that movement from monarchical system of government to democracy. Nigeria and her other African countries are very much reflected in literature. So we cannot say that national development is absent in literature. It is only imagined in two ways, utopian and dystopian. Utopian will mean creating almost a society that does not exist. That everything is pure, rosy, and blissful. That is utopian portrayal. That dystopian reflection can have some literature that distorts the mind, that portrays ills and other associated national problems. Now, an example of insecurity reflected in literature recently, I'll take Razak Malik's No Home in This Land. The chapbook recaptures the lingering security crisis that have taken such a prevalent mode in the north that comes off as a scaffold gripped by insurgency, resulting in death and displacement. Malik, in what looks like a mock gratitude, in a particular poem he entitles Dedication, bears witness to the northern region of Nigeria that is subsumed in Boko Haram insurgency. For the women copying, let me take this quotation. For the women copying the candle lights that flickers in the room in Aleppo, for our children who call their bodies in bed, for the stunned faces of people recovering from the vast ruins that accompany a blast in Maiduguri, for those whose hands quiver as they search for their properties in the ruins of their bomb huts. You can relate the kind of security that Nigeria operates in, such a fragile security, one that is threatened by bombs, headsmen, and other social vices. Now, can language and literature save Nigeria? That is somewhat. Can language and literature save Nigeria from insecurity and development crisis? You would have to infer by some of the quotations I have given. So, probably you may consider the quotation partly ambivalent, because the technology of imagination that produces poetry is letter to Mr. President, which individually approximates a lamentation of masses over injustices and security threats that pervade them. Yeah. If we note that literature finds its life in language, figurative language that stares and stuns, we may ideally posit that it engages a plethora of subjects, insecurity, and other ills that bedevil Nigeria. So one glance of the theme of this conference again, and with every of the faintest hint of the topic, you're so conversant with the Nigerian condition. You'll find out that we have traveled this same road elsewhere, as pointed out in the reference given to the lecture delivered by Pius Adesomi. So the Ugandan contraption and other things which form part of the language descriptive words from scholars may just cast that pall on the development that Nigeria aspires towards. Finally, I lean on the stubborn regenerative optimism of my mentors, Professor Raji-Oyelade and his teacher, Leo Shindari, in that long tribe of optimists investing such ruthless hope that the Nigerian ship will not finally sink and become that ill-fated 1912 Titanic. Thank you for listening.
much, Mr. Aderemi, introducing matters. A round of applause for you. Please, we've listened to all what you have said. Do you have any questions to ask him? Why no questions? Observations? Suggestions? Are we tired? Please take care of yourself, please. Okay, let's be fast. The next thing on this agenda is launching of Nassau Southwest magazine. And that will be done by the 8th Regional Director of Nassau Southwest, Comrade Aderemi. A round of applause.
Greatest Nassau. Actually, I will not be launching the magazine. I'm just to coordinate the process of the launching. Thank you very much. Yes, as you are all aware, let me thank Mr. Martins for the intellectually packed personality lecture from there in honor of our grand person, Professor Aderemi Raji-Oyelade. Can we give him 3 American clues, sir? 3 American clues, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Nassau Southwest, for the past few months, we've charged students of English in the region. There are 18 registered chapters of Nassau in the region to submit contents to be published in our magazine. And to the glory of God, we now have our magazine here in the front of our guy. The engineer Dr. Sanusi, is expected to be the chief launcher of the magazine. But for guys, there are some visitors that also come around from the United Kingdom and is presently attending to them. So I'll seek the indulgence of Mokaji Nuruddin Akiyade to please receive the magazine on his behalf. And after we are done with this personality lecture, we meet him in person to proclaim his launching. Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of Nassau Southwest, we hereby present National Association of Center of English and Literary Studies, Nassau Southwest magazine, that we have tagged a Nassau Southwest Periscope, Volume 1. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Permit me to please invite or call the attention of our distinguished Grand Patron, Professor Aderemi, to please launch the magazine. Thank you very much, sir.
I think it's important to ensure that every nationalites of the Southwest region and even beyond has a copy of this, because it's going to be in the next 10, 15 or 20 years a historical document. I've had the opportunity of reading through not all of what have been said here, but in a very general panoramic view of Periscope, I can attest to the excellence and the quality of the contributions in this magazine. And I hope also that those who are coming behind will follow suit by coming up with Periscope Volume 2 in the year, maybe this year 2021 or maybe 2022. Would of course launch it in the Nigerian or the WESTCOSELS imagination. You are going to certainly hear from many of my friends, and I know that we are going to be delighted in what you get. Of course, we are also going to pass this on to Engineer Dr. Sanusi for his support. We keep on supporting the association. Thank you.
The expert in pencil draw, or how do I put it? To present pencil for Professor Aderemi Raji-Oyelade.
Thank you very much, the literary artist and the creative artist.
Thank you very much. Permits me to call forward the National President of NASELS, Corporate Okoli Obioma Timothy, to launch the magazine. Mr. President, you're welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, I'm outside. Most of you here are seeing me for the very first time. But before I go further, I would like to recognize my father, our father, and our grand patron, Professor Raji. Good afternoon once again, sir. I would like to also recognize the presence of Mogaji Nuruddin Akinade. Good afternoon very much, sir. Also, I would have loved to also recognize the presence of Engineer Dr. Sanusi when he has left us, but also his presence is well noticed. But there are some people, some students have seen their works here that will be getting free delegate fee to the upcoming WESTCOSELS in May. So on behalf of the NASELS National Executive Council, but I refuse to mention you're taking the magazine with 50,000.
Of launchers, and of course, as you see, the formally received on his behalf by Mogaji Nuruddin Akinade. Thank you, representatives, to join me in presentation of the award. Please very quickly. This Merit Award to Chief Engineer Dr. Sanusi and the 10th anniversary of NASELS Southwest Region. Today is April 2021. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Thank you very much, sir. Let me invite Comrade Max to please come forward and launch NASELS Southwest magazine. Very quickly, welcome from NASELS Nasi. A round of applause for him as he stand up, please. Is it dissolved? It's coming. Let me invite Zinod Wells They sound British. Zeno Welch from National Station 2. Are they in this hall? They are coming. Let me invite the incoming Senate President of Tasusu State to please come forward and launch National Southwest magazine. While I'm still expecting names from other chapters for the launch, Comrade, I can see you. Please come forward with your agbada and launch the National magazine. Thank you.
I'll be launching the first volume of National Southwest magazine with 1,000 metaphor and a million things. Okay. I'll be launching this National Southwest magazine with 10,000 naira.
Thank you very much. Actually, it's more than 10,000 naira. But I know there are some narcissists that are intentionally hiding themselves behind the share. We will still come back to them. So, this magazine, if you are interested in launching the magazine, here as a seat, please, may I request your honor to please come forward to do the launching. Do we have anyone, please? Yes, I see someone standing up. You're welcome, sir. A copy of the magazine goes for 2,000 naira. A copy of the magazine. However, each chapter will be having a copy each chapter. Every chapter will be having a copy for free. But if you are a narcissist interested in getting a copy of the magazine, it goes for 8,000 naira. Thank you very much and God bless you. May I invite back the coordinator of the program to please proceed to the next stage. Greatest necessary.
Fantastic. Okay, who is declaring the amount? Or the 10 assessors who come outside? Please, a round of applause for ourselves. Last one, they come to do their own launch.
Please, Mr. President or whoever is representing the chapter should please come out and launch the magazine. Each chapter will be launching. I think I made a mistake there. Even in person the fact that we are the most popular chapter in this WESTCOSELS. Over 70 delegates. Please stand up in your numbers and give yourself a beautiful round of applause.
As well.
While you present the representative that will be launching the magazine. Oh yeah, continue. Is the president launching? We are coming. Let me Joseph at Babala University is coming. No, he was not coming when you want to receive the book on his behalf.
Somebody receive on his behalf, so the person can also launch on his behalf.
Also launch on his behalf. Yes, Mr. President is here. Powerfully. President Kolade, Jabu Joe. Jabu Joe. Jabu is said. Yes. Jabu is powerfully airways. With 18 delegates. Yes. Mr. President, you are welcome. Mr. President is for some.
Please round of applause for the president of WESTCOSELS.
And please, all these amounts of launching should not be audio. You want to receive it before the end of today. Mr. President, you're welcome, sir. You are launching in presence of Congress, so don't be scared. Any amount is welcome. If you don't announce it, so don't be scared of how much you can announce. Yes, you can start from 50,000.
On behalf of Joseph at Babala University, we are launching it with 5,000 naira.
The rest of us are Joseph at Babala University.
Tasun, are you ready?
Tasun, are you ready? Tasun, are you ready? Let me invite President Wale Samuel from Ekiti State University. Exu Joe. Exu are not here. Exu Joe.
They're here now.
A round of applause for Mr. President. When I was in Exu, I think that was 3 or 4 weeks ago. They did me well. So I have no doubt that Mr. President will do Nassau Southwest region well. Mr. President.
Ekiti State University, our mouth is dry like the sun of the desert. Nevertheless, on behalf of Ekiti State University, we're launching this with 30,000 naira.
Should I call the Deputy Regional Director to do that on his behalf? You are still coming. Actually, we are waiting for you. Yes. Great Ife. Great Ife. Great Ife. Articulate Ife. You know, something significant and special about Ife is that they are always great. I invite Olabinyu Faith, Madam President, to launch Nassau's magazine on behalf of the University. The hue you see Madam President wearing do not cost less than 50,000 naira. 75.
Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of Nassau's OAU chapter, we will launch this magazine with 10,000 naira.
A round of applause for them, please. I'm still expecting. Okay, I think I should even call this chapter first. The chapter of our grand patron.
On behalf of Osun State, with the help of DRD and our speaker, Associate Honorable and others, and all of us,
Round of applause for that, please.
Thank you very much. Osun State University, 20,000 naira. Now I invite the chapter of the regional director.
30.
Tasu Joe. That will be the Tasu Joe I will say last. So, Mr. President, do you intentionally come to the mic so that I don't call you? Tasu Joe. So I invite the representative of National University of Education to please come forward and launch the Nassau Southwest magazine. A round of applause for them, please. A round of applause, please. Who is coming forward? This part is happening to you. That's your job. LOC chairman is launching on behalf of TASU. He's coming. For him, please. Let me call the president. No, they won't disappoint me.
But they are disappointing already.
They are disappointing me, but the president. King's University. Mr. President is here. A round of applause for him, please. Please.
A round of applause.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. A round of applause for him, please. Let me call the same university in your campus. Aderemi. University of your campus, Peradventure, or by application, the most experienced chapter president of National Southwest, Fatona Adulu and Rachel. So I have that chapter to please come forward and launch the magazine on behalf of the chapter. Madam President, you're welcome. A round of applause for her, please. I did not cost less than 20,000 naira. Just don't check. Thank you very much.
Okay, attention please. Attention. OAU, sit down. Now, no, Mr. Adams, I want us to do it together. I am seeing future senators among you. But you know, being a senator is not a profession, you know that. But because of the nature of our country, we want to be in position. And you know the tradition nowadays is that somebody comes up stage and says, I launch, whether it is launch pad, 20,000, 5,000, 50,000 from Obedo Gioma. And I think you have